while learning the part. So yeah, take over, guys.
Okay, so I think it's better if I start with general terminology and information, then Mustafa can take you to some technical parts after me. So let me share my presentation. Okay. So before going into the blockchain, I want to ask you, what's that? I think
That's like a prehistoric something tablet. I can read there, so I think you should have said it.
Is it a new biscuit in the market? I was about to ask that. It looks like a very new design for a biscuit.
This is actually one of maybe the oldest ledger in the world, which is readable right now. And it's in New York City, in a museum. And why I wanna start with this is we will go deep into ledgers in general in blockchain. So what's a ledger? Ledger is something that we record our transactions, the data, whatever we're working on. You know, it's like a notebook, we can say. So, of course, it's a prehistoric thing, but sorry for the tale. But if we progress in time, later we will see these kind of ledgers, like an account book. So what people were doing with their accounts, that they were taking a list of transactions from the merchant's journal. We can call it a single entry ledger, and then transfer them into the double entry ledger. And each item on the first notebook, let's say, first ledger, would be added to the second one, and so that we can double check them. Like if there are credits in one account, then there will be debits in the other one to match them. So it's like a proof, you know. These kind of notebooks were like in use till 1300 something. But nowadays, and before blockchain too, we started using this kind of Excel sheets. I'm sure that everybody is familiar with them and we still use them. But the problem with these is that even though we know the date of files, it doesn't really prove anything because they are modifiable, you know. So in time, academicians came with the idea to put a timestamp on documents so that we know which transaction or data recorded when. But this idea was not really a buzzword at that time in 1990s until Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009 modified it into Bitcoins. But this name is actually a representative. We don't know if he's a real person or she, I don't know. It's still not clear if she's Japanese or some American, I don't know. So he applied putting this digital timestamp into transactions idea with Bitcoin, and he published this article on a website, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. So after that, we started recording these digital currency and their transactions into some virtual ledgers, not physical ledgers. And to keep those ledgers, he proposed blockchain technology. So blockchain technology is like a virtual boxing system to keep these records, and not just for ourselves. It's designed to store your transaction data where everyone in that network can see what you did and what time, you know. So all the entries are encrypted in these ledgers so that it can be more secure, you know, it can be traced and it can be recorded electronically. So let's have a look at this system and why it's different in general. So as we all know, with our banks, we have this centralized ledger system. When we make a transaction, when we do a transaction in our bank accounts, it's transferred in clearinghouse in bank itself. We don't even see it, but it's controlled centrally. But in distributed ledgers, these transactions are recorded in all of the servers which are in that network. So there's no central control mechanism, we can say that. Sorry. Okay. So how does it work and what do we record on these computers or systems or whatever? How does it work? So in these boxes, we actually record our transaction data, and which may contain the footprint of the person who is sending it and who is receiving it and the amount. And this is just an example for Bitcoin here. And also a footprint of this transaction, which we can call as hash. It's like an encrypted system for this transaction only. And if we change anything in this box or ledger, this also changes so that we can keep it secure with the number 2. And each box also has the information of the previous box, or the block, I should say, so that we can chain those blocks to each other and keep them safe, like this one. So each block has the hash information and the information of the previous block. Another difference with our, traditional bank accounts and this technology is the peer-to-peer network and distributed ledger technology. So we said there's no centralized control system. And what we mean with that is it's a more democratic communication. In peer-to-peer network, each device or the node, these are called nodes, can send and receive information, make a request. It's not like traditional, user, client, and database transaction thing. So they work independently and they can see whatever we have in the blocks and ledgers. And the main thing is, how do we send or request things? Also, actually, we don't do it ourselves, let's say that, but we do it with smart contracts. So smart contracts are a type of system which executes the decision making that banks do for us. There is a rule base, there are some predetermined conditions, let's say, for each transaction. So if the conditions are met, the smart contract does this transaction, but if not, they don't. So it's like securing the transaction process with those. I already told these. And blockchain technology is known to be secure compared to traditional systems. Why? It's because hashing system that I mentioned before, smart contracts, it's a distributed system, so everything is recorded, you know, in all the nodes in that network. And also it's peer-to-peer, so there's no central bank. And with these qualities, let's say, blockchain has lots of different applications in different industries. So let's take a look at those. Actually, I think it can be applied to almost all industries which requires some proof, you know, like manufacturing, public sector, for tracing health records, I don't know, educational certifications, which is our thing. I think Mustafa may mention about those. So anything that requires proof and security, a blockchain can be used. I don't know if you have seen my blogs in Archi's Academy blogs page, but they are more in detail in that. And also I share about this on LinkedIn. You can also follow those. I gave a break for some time to these blogs, and I hope to continue when I finish my thesis. So yeah, it's a buzzword. I wanted you to know about this, all of you. And I just leave it to Mustafa to continue with more technical stuff. Here you go, Mustafa.
Oh, hey, everybody. Don't be afraid. I'm not going to talk technical today. Many of you already know me. For our new trainees, I'm Mustafa. I'm working on Archi as a web and blockchain developer. Today, I will talk about non-fungible tokens. I have a short presentation to tell you about NFTs. Let me share my screen. Okay. What is the non-fungible? We have to know fungible key to understand non-fungible tokens. You know, fungible means something is able to exchange or substitute and hold the same value, like gold, silver, and all currencies are fungible. And think about if I lend you $10 cash and you return me to $5. I'm fine with that. I'm not gonna check the serial numbers of the money. They hold the same value, equals. It's both of them $10, and we can exchange between these currencies, and we can buy any of those currencies with another one. Like we can buy a gold with dollars, and this means the fungible term. And about the non-fungible, it's an asset that cannot be substituted. These things are not interchangeable for other items because we have unique properties. Things like a car, a home, a painting, collectibles, song file, TV, or your computer. You know. And what are non-fungible tokens? We know what is non-fungible now. Non-fungible tokens are the pieces of digital assets linked to the blockchain, to a digital database based on cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is the most popular blockchain technologies. We have many of blockchain networks in use now. We can use NFTs to represent ownership of unique items. No one can modify the record of ownership or copy paste a new NFT into existence. Okay. And okay, we know what is NFTs, but we don't know use cases of NFTs. What is the use cases? Let's look into it. We can use the NFTs for the digital art. It's the most popular thing for now. Digital art is early use case for NFTs, like because of all ability of blockchain technology to assure the unique signature and ownership of NFTs. Digital artworks by people sold for the $69 million in this year. Christie's met news in the authentic. How can I read this? Can you help me, please, Ajay? Auction industry by selling peoples every day. This is the most valuable NFT product we have ever seen in the world now. It's $69 million. So it's like crazy. And the other use case is identification and certification. Non-fungible assets holds unique information about the particular good or asset, which makes NFTs a great use case for identification and certifications or licenses and qualifications to register on the blockchain. Every human being has unique attributes and identification information. NFTs could make your medical history, personal profile, education, and something like this. And other use case are the gaming industry. I'm seeing a big feature for this use case. NFTs are popular in the gaming industry since these tokens solve some their internal difficulties. For example, popular games today such as PUBG and Fortnite want to purchase rare features and items such as weapon with NFTs. These items can easily be transferred and used. The last use case is collectibles. We are seeing the collectibles in our life slow by slow. NFTs can represent collectibles like card collections, but in a digital format. In February this year, a LeBron James Slam Dunk NFT card on the NBA Top Shot platform sold for $208,000. And there is a NFT use cases for the most popular platforms created by NFT. This image belongs to 2 months ago. Actually, we are facing a new projects every year. You can check this image in this slide after the presentation. And this is some crazy NFT sales. Some examples of the sales. The left one is the most popular one. And there is a NFT 3D model of a home. It's not a real estate, but it's $500 on NFT. And there are some PNG and video files, just crazy prices. And end of the slide. Actually, that's pretty much this from me. Thank you all for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Mustafa. It was like both Ajay and Mustafa like bringing out like the new technologies into the picture. I have been mentioning, probably most of you guys